safety first, kids. Yeah. Oh, you gay? Me gay? We both gay? It's not just because I want to read smut, I swear to God. I mean, I do, obviously, but like... Hello, my angels. Welcome back to another video. My name is Ro, and today we are starting off a brand new vlog series, and that is called the Book Box Battle. Now, this is to do with my book boxes that I get every month. This is Fairyloot, Illumicrate, and Goldsborough. So I get specifically the Goldsborough Science Fiction and Fantasy Fellowship. This is the SFF subscription that they have. They do also have another subscription called Premiere. That's more for like general fiction. I do not subscribe to that one because I don't read a lot of general fiction, but I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy. So every month now I am going to read all 3 books from all of my book boxes, and I'm also going to compare the items from Fairyloot and Illumicrate, just rate them in terms of how useful they are, how pretty they are, whether I like the fandom, whether I would use it regardless of the fandom, that kind of thing. Just basically my own opinions, very subjective. I don't get any items with Goldsborough, that is just a book only. Now this may get a bit more complicated as the year goes on because I am hoping to sign up for the Fairyloot adult box, and also the Broken Binding is starting up a subscription, but it is more to do with backlist books, and they kind of are doing like series at a time, but you would get one a month. So say there was a trilogy, let's say for example, maybe the Farseer trilogy, this is completely out of nowhere. Say the Farseer trilogy, you sign up in January you get Assassin's Apprentice, February you'd get Royal Assassin, and then March you would get whatever the third one is, Assassin's Quest. So that's kind of how that one would work. I don't think it would be quite the same as comparing brand new releases like the Fairyloot books and the Illumicrate books would be. So we'll see how that goes, see if I even want to subscribe to it, because they may do an author that I am completely not interested in. They do also have like a mini subscription coming up as well with Broken Binding. They have 2 different ones, Dragon's Hoard and like mini subscription. So I think I'll just look into that a bit more before just subscribing blindly. We may get a bit more of that later on as well. But for now, we are just doing the first 3 boxes. So in the month of December, I got all 3 boxes. For Illumicrate, I got A Marvelous Light. This is actually the Waterstones edition. I just don't want to read my nice copy that's upstairs. I will show you it later on in the vlog though. So this is A Marvelous Light. This is, I thought it was a standalone, but there's a big number 1 on the spine, so I'm thinking now that it's the beginning of a series. But this is a queer, magical, historical fiction kind of mystery book. So there's a young baronet, Robin Blythe. He's already in a spot of bother. He's struggling to be a decent older brother and a responsible employer, and to rescue the estate ravaged by his late parents' excesses. So then an admin mistake appoints him parliamentary liaison to a secret society, and he discovers magic lies beneath the reality he's already known. He has to find his missing predecessor. He attracts a deadly curse. He then needs the help of Edwin Kersey, his prickly magical society counterpart, which are where I'm assuming the kind of rivals, kind of snarky to lovers kind of thing is coming in. Apparently there is also like a murder mystery going on in this, so this sounds really fucking good. I'm very excited to read this one, and I can't wait to read it this week. I think it's going to be a very, very good start to January and the new year for 2022. Speaking of, welcome to 2022. Hope you're all having a good first week. Or first 2 weeks. Next up was the GSFF pick, and that was Absinthe, and it's got some cool, weird edges there. This is actually a dystopian, but it's kind of like a dystopian set in the past. So set in Chicago in 1928, and technology has delivered the future promised at the turn of the century. Automata provide, monorail trains flash between megacities, and medicine is nothing short of magical. The main character remembers little of the world before the war, which back then was called the Great War. We now call it World War I, but this is referring to the war between 1914 and 1918. Obviously, they didn't know it was World War I before World War II happened, so they called it the Great War, just in case anyone didn't know that. So this guy, main character Liam, grew up poor, but he's now working for one of the richest families in Chicago. He's kind of friends with the family's son and heir, so he's at this club called Club Artemis. It's a palace of Art Deco delights and debauchery filled to bursting with the rich and beautiful. Tonight they're all drinking one thing, absinthe. But the green liquor is rumoured to cause hallucinations, madness, even death. While the gilded youth sip the viridescent liquid, their brave new world is crumbling beneath its perfect surface. So for their absinthe is no mere folly. Some it kills, others it transforms, but in Liam, something else has taken place. A veil has lifted and he can now see the world without its illusions, and it is not the world the government want the people to believe. So this sounds, again, fucking brilliant. I love dystopian. I love kind of 1920s flapper settings, and the idea is just very good, I think. So I'm very, very excited for this one. So there are two this week that I'm very excited to read. This last one from Fairyloot, I'm not very excited for, and this is the reason that I'm starting with it. So with Fairyloot, we had Year of the Reaper, and we also did have The Coldest Touch. They did give us 2 books in this. I am unsure if I'm going to read this week. I will if I have time. I will try to. But if not, I'm not going to feel too bad about it. But because it is another book in the book box battle, I will attempt to read this, but I will prioritise the main books from all the boxes. So Year of the Reaper, when I unboxed this and I read the synopsis, I remember feeling like it was very, very generic. Basically, the main character, there's a plague that has swept the land. The main character's been in prison for a bit. He survived prison and he survived the plague, but now he wants to go back to his home in the mountains. But his castle now has the royal court there for some reason. Some assassin has targeted the queen and those closest to the queen. The main character is then drawn into a search for the killer. So it's kind of like a murder mystery, YA, historical fantasy, but it's not really fantasy, I don't think. There's no speak of any powers or anything yet in the synopsis. So then he meets a woman who's a historian, and then they basically have to try and do the mystery together, and this just sounds very generic. And then The Coldest Touch is a romance, but it's about a girl who every time she touches someone she experiences how they will die, and then she predicts but is unable to prevent her brother's death. And then she meets Claire, a vampire tasked with helping Elise master her rare powers and recruiting her to The Veil, a secret organisation determined to protect the paranormal world at all costs. This sounds actually pretty fun. And it's sapphic, so I'm hoping that I can get to this week. It sounds more interesting to me than Year of the Reaper, but I am on sprints right now, and one of my deities, Tori, told me that a few people had arcs of this and actually really liked it. So I'm on Patreon sprints right now, and it's New Year's Day, and so I am going to start off the year with something that I am hoping can surprise me. If not, then it's only short, so hopefully it won't take too long. So yeah, I will check back in with you when I have read some of this and have some thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Hello everyone. I have not picked up Year of the Reaper for about 2 weeks since I read the first 50 pages on the 1st of January. And now I am in the middle of TBRPGathon, and it's a bit late to be doing anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash up these 2 video/vlog ideas for this month, and I'm going to do TBRPGathon. Before TBRPGathon, I'm going to read my book box books that I'm trying to read this month. So in fact, actually it is Wednesday today, so I've forgotten to vlog the first 2 days of TBRPGathon, but I didn't get much done because I've been at work, and basically all I've done is go to work, go to the gym, eat food, and read Crescent City. So I was not planning on reading Crescent City this month at all. In fact, anytime soon. It's an 800-page book, and I did not have time for it this month, but I had the real FOMO because all of my patrons on Discord were either reading it or rereading it in advance for the next book that's coming out next month. And I thought, you know what? Let's just read it, and then we can do a little live show with the patrons as well. So this all ended up really good. And this is my first 5-star of the year. Hey, can we all please take a bow? Can we all take a breath? This, I genuinely sobbed for the last 100 pages, like the whole of the last 100 pages. My jaw was on the floor for the last 200 pages. And I will say, when I got to page like 450 to 500 out of 800, I was thinking it's quite like a 4 to a 4.5 star. Maybe it would be the kind of, oh, it almost was a 5-star next year. Because when I put down a book a lot and pick it up a lot over a few days, I start to get a feeling of like what kind of star rating it's sitting at. And I'm always open-minded to what the ending will be, because usually endings can bump up stars for me. And this I don't think I've connected so much with so many characters and events that happen to characters in a book in a long time. Probably since Middle Game and like Shauna Maguire, Every Heart a Doorway, that series. Since then, there's been a bit of a gap between me really feeling like super connected to characters and them really hitting hard and making me cry. And this did that exactly for me. And I did tweet this as well, but I think like, could this have been shorter? Yes. Would it have had the impact that it would have had on me if we hadn't have got to know these characters throughout the long amount of time we spent with them? I don't think so. So there's kind of a trade-off there between, I really like the ending, I really like the last sort of quarter of the book, probably a little bit more actually, maybe even the last third of the book is the best part, and the first like 100 pages. So the middle kind of 200 pages, I'd say maybe was a bit unnecessary, maybe was a little bit dragged out. The kind of, let's say, plot is very kind of, not as sophisticated, it's kind of just a murder mystery, but I think it was done quite well. I thought there was a lot of good misdirection and a lot of good red herrings that I did fully believe and didn't feel skeptical of, like they're trying to double bluff me or things like that. In the end, this has come out as a 5-star because I felt so connected to the characters. I felt such an emotional impact for not only the ending, but all of the last 100 pages. And there's a little epilogue that just has that like nice little sneak peek, nice little intrigue for the next book. And I know I'm gonna want to pick up the next book immediately in February, which is gonna fuck over my whole February TBR, just like this has fucked over my whole January TBR. I don't really have much else to say for this now because I'm gonna leave that for my Patreon live show, but I did just want to catch up with you guys because this week is a heavy week for me. It's been really hard. I did not realise the amount of work that I needed to put into these videos for TBRPGathon. I didn't realise how many videos I actually had to film. I am now out of my reserves of videos that I've pre-filmed, and I'm now filming like daily to get the videos out in the night. Due to anxiety, due to just stuff happening, due to being busy, getting an exam result that I didn't want in January, having to think about the resit on the 7th of February. It's all been a lot. I think if this had been a normal readathon where I just had to run it from Twitter and not really do any videos, I think I would have been fine. But this has been actually quite hard to get the motivation to film and to write the script and to get everything done on time. So I'm really glad that I managed to finish Crescent City because I thought I wasn't going to get any reading done this week. I thought I was going to feel too anxious. I definitely have felt too anxious all month to read. This is the only the second book of the year that I've read, and it's currently the 19th of January, and that's not like usual for me. And I know for the next 2 weeks now, after TBRPGathon, I'm going to have to study for my resit instead of read, and that's already making me feel down now. So I'm like, it's just the anxiety of like thinking into the future, I can't read in the next 2 weeks, blah blah blah. So it's all just been a lot. And I do want to say just thank you to everyone who's been super excited for TBRPGathon, who's been posting lovely comments, tweets, Insta stories. I am super grateful, and it's really felt like worth it to me just to see your guys' reactions every day when the prompts drop, doing sprints every day. It's been really good. I think I might be taking a break tonight, today is Wednesday, because I am a bit exhausted. I might hop on later because Esme, who is Paradise of Pages, she is one of the Be Sure-a-thon team leaders, and she is doing sprints tonight. They're kind of like a mashup of Be Sure and TBRPGathon. But basically I was meant to go to the gym tonight, so then I was like, oh, if Esme wanted to do some sprints, that she could, and so she is. But that means also I don't have to hop on if I don't want to, but then I do want to be here all week because it's my readathon. But I think I'm going to take a break tonight because I do need to film. I need to film some stuff for the rest of the week, basically. But I feel excited. I feel excited to read as well. I'm going to finish filming this clip. Hopefully going to film the rest of the week better to get some more stuff in this vlog for you guys. But yeah, I think this week's going okay. I'm having an okay time. I'm glad that I got a 5-star reading, and I'm really hoping to finish my book box books so that I can fucking review them for you and compare them for you. So sorry to get a bit heavy in the middle here, guys, but I am really wanting to like let you guys know what's going on with me because I haven't really done a vlog in a while either since Christmas. I hope you're all having a great week, or you had a great TBRPGathon week, and I will see you in the next clip. Hello everyone, it is Saturday, which means today is the 24-hour-ish sprint that I'm doing for TBRPGathon. Now, this week has not been going the best for me, reading wise. I started A Marvelous Light, got about 50 pages in. I finished Crescent City, but like I finished half of it this week, so I haven't actually got a lot of reading done this week in my own readathon. But today I'm sprinting for 12 hours total, 10 till 5, then 7 till midnight. And also today is the last day, kind of, that I have to film stuff for TBRPGathon, film the endings. I am doing sprints tomorrow as well, so I may vlog tomorrow as well. But today is going to be the main bulk of this vlog. I'm going to take you through my whole day. I mean, I have to skip the beginning because I've already been to the gym, hence me looking like this. But I've just been to the gym. I went at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is early for me. Went 8 till 9. I've just got back. I'm gonna shower, have breakfast, and then jump on sprints. And what I'm gonna do in sprints is at first hopefully write some of the endings, because I wanted to leave it till last minute to write the endings because I kind of wanted to see how everything went and how everyone reacted before writing an ending for people. So we're gonna see how that goes. We have 4 endings to write and film today. So yeah, good start of the day. And I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done after having done that as well. I do also want to film my Kindle Unlimited smut review from 2021 as well, so that might be later on. But today's going to be a good day, to quote Phineas and Ferb. You know? Today's going to be a great day. And I'm going to get Jordan to do some kind of glow up transition for when I get out of the shower and have all my makeup on. See you later. Hello. I have done a lot this morning. It is currently 1:40. I had to squint then because I haven't got my glasses on. I have cut my fringe. It's a bit looking weird because it's not straightened, so it's dried naturally a bit curly. But I've cut my fringe. I have showered. I've put a bit of makeup on. We are on the, I want to say 4th sprint currently. I think that's right. Yeah, 4th sprint. Everything's going really well. I'm feeling really motivated. I have finished scripting and figuring out all the endings for each of the TBRPGathon endings. I'm super excited for you guys to see it. Obviously, you will have seen it by now when you see this video, but currently I'm super, super excited to film everything. I have to film 10 videos for today for the end of TBRPGathon. I'm also hoping, like I said earlier, to film my Kindle smut review. And yeah, I'm having a good time. Me and Jordan are about to have lunch. We have some leftover kind of pasta, chorizo pasta bake that we had a few days ago, or he made a few days ago. And it's really, really good. It's like a HelloFresh recipe that we doubled all the ingredients and bought the ingredients again because it was so good. It's like cheddar cheese, creme fraiche, chicken stock, panko breadcrumbs, and pasta and chorizo and onion, and it's really, really nice, so highly would recommend that one. And yeah, on sprints I will show you doing some sprinties. Oh, it's a bit bright, but we're in the middle of a sprint right now. I'm on with Teresa and Christy. It's going well. I am still hoping to read quite a bit today, so maybe I think I will dedicate this sprint to eating and watching something and chilling, and then the next sprint I will film. And hopefully a 45-minute sprint should be fine for filming all of that. That should then take us up to, if I try and figure out timings, maybe like 3:10. And then we might do an hour long to finish off this session of sprints. And then in that hour long, I can maybe film my Kindle Unlimited smut review. And then I can read this evening. Well, I need to go get groceries. I need to pick up my Tesco order. So I will be doing that straight after the end of these sprints. I can't speak. And then I will be reading, having dinner, and hopefully then sprinting this evening where I can only read and I don't have to do anything else. And I will be done for TBRPGathon. And then all of this evening and all of tomorrow, I can just read. I really, really, really want to finish In a Marvelous Light and Year of the Reaper, ideally, this weekend. I think Year of the Reaper, if I tried that this evening, I think I could definitely finish that super quick. Even if I started before the 7 p.m. sprints. I think I could finish that super quick. And then A Marvelous Light, if I get on with it, can also do that super quick and maybe get majority of it done this evening. And then that means tomorrow, where I am doing 10 till 5 for TBRPGathon, and then I am doing Patreon sprints in the evening, tomorrow is Sunday, I'm hoping to read Absinthe. So then I will be able to actually do my book box battle for you guys and tell you how everything went. I haven't really said about A Marvelous Light yet, but I am 50 pages in. I'm really, really enjoying the banter, really enjoying the writing. I think the prose is pretty good. And as well, I really like the main characters. They're quite distinct, I feel. I did actually try to listen to the audiobook and I hated the narrator. I would not recommend the narrator. I think he has way too much inflection in his words. His cadence of like what he was doing with all of the characters, to me, didn't fit any of the characters, especially the main guy, Robin, and his sister, Maud. Do not agree with like the voices he chose for them, and they'd always just be like this, and it's just like it doesn't read like that to me, at least when I read it physically. So I retained the audiobook and I'm continuing physically, so it's good so far. I'm very intrigued. I really like the kind of mundaneness of the magic so far, how it just happens to be there and they use it for however, and like the cradle, they use like a cat's cradle type of thing to do the magic. So that's already interesting and I'm super intrigued to see further magic. And Year of the Reaper, again, I was 50 pages into that. Nothing had really happened yet, but I'm still hoping that something more interesting will happen than what's in the synopsis, because the synopsis is pretty boring. But I've heard some all right stuff from a couple of like people in the comments. A woman called Charlotte has said that she really liked it and gave it like 4. So I'm hoping like it'll pick up a bit and something interesting will happen. So yeah, I will update you later, but I'm gonna go eat lunch now, then go film, and then hopefully read. I will see you later. Hello everyone. I've just finished the first lot of sprints for today. I got loads done. I'm super, super happy, super productive today. And I filmed all of the endings, all of the videos that need to go up tonight for TBRPGathon. And I'm super excited to see everyone's reactions. And I also watched the episode of RuPaul's Drag Race that came out last night, and RuPaul is having a psychotic break. If any of you are watching it at the moment, please comment and let me know what you think, what the fuck's going on with him, because he's crazy. He's turning into Tyra Banks. Anyways, I am about to go and pick up my Tesco grocery order, and then tonight, hopefully, to just get reading done. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be a filming day for the videos upcoming in the week, but then tonight is going to be full reading eleganza, you know? You can tell I've just watched an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I'm going to go get the groceries. We'll come back, probably start a book, and then I'll be back for the 7 p.m. sprints with Cassidy, and that's going to be super fun. So I will see you then. Hello, I've just got back from my grocery shop. In fact, I had a very good grocery shop. I got a lot of Halo Top ice cream on sale. Jordan will insert a picture. I got 4 of them. Loving it. And I've come home to no less than 3 packages from Amazon. So I'm going to open them on camera for you all. And I know at least one of them's from Kendra, because I had my exam results the other day and I put it on the Patreon Discord, and Kendra, the amazing, lovely, beautiful, perfect person that she is, said that I deserved something. So I have a feeling some of them are from Kendra. Okay. Ooh, we have King of Battle and Blood. I was actually talking about this earlier with Christy and Teresa on sprints. It's like a fantasy romance. I actually thought it was way thicker than this. This seems super short, and it's quite a stiff paperback, but that's fine. The front is quite nice feeling, you know, like kind of matte feel. I prefer the matte covers. It's by, oh, it's the author of A Touch of Darkness, which I've seen. Jodie from Vanilla Moon really likes that book. And I think I have it on Kindle, or it's on Kindle Unlimited. Oh, so this is the international edition? Don't know if that's any different to ones other people have, but it is about, I don't even know. Vampire King. To be honest, it just looks like From Blood and Ash, sounds like From Blood and Ash, and I liked From Blood and Ash, so I'm hoping I'll like this. The note says, oh, this is from Christy. Congrats on passing your exams. I know how hard they are. Proud of you and everything you've achieved. I'm also dying to read this, from Christy. Christy, I love you so much. I've literally just had her on sprints just now, and she's probably going to be on later as well. So I will thank her in person as well. But thank you, Christy. This seems like a super short book. It's less than 400 pages. I thought this was going to be a chonker like 600, but may get to it pretty soon if I'm feeling like in a slump. I usually go for like fantasy romance when I'm in a slump. So thank you, Christy. Let's go for this. Ooh, ooh. Oh my God, there's washi tape. So these are from Kendra. So Kendra, oh my gosh, Kendra, you've spoiled me. So Kendra has got me some lush green, it's reflecting. Let me cut the plastic off and maybe it won't reflect so much. I keep all of my stuff in like one of these books that like opens. So I keep all my journaling stuff in there. So I will be putting this in there. Safety first, kids. Oh my God, there's more plastic underneath. So it's like you can see me in the response. Right. Let's take it out of the other plastic. There we go, we've got it. So these are like really nice green leafy type washi tapes, some thicker ones and some thinner ones. Thank you so much, Kendra. And she has also got me some candy kittens, some of the wild strawberry ones. These are like sweets that I think Maddie introduced me to. I think people were talking about them on BookTube and stuff, and then when I visited Maddie in June, she had some and I tried some. I think they were the watermelon ones maybe, or I can't remember. But they're like squishy sweets. They're not quite squishy, they're like in between hard and squishy. And they taste really good and they're vegan sweets. And they are also carbon neutral apparently, and palm oil free. So I think that's why a lot of people have been like getting into them and stuff, because of all of their ethical things, but also they taste really good. Thank you, Kendra. And she has also got me, oh my God, I really want to read this. Oh my God, I love how big this paperback is. Look at the difference in height between these two paperbacks. So this is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey. I have read some of her like Kindle Unlimited type smut, which is a bit more smutty than like a normal kind of romance book, but her smut is so good from what I've read from her. And the idea of this is kind of like an enemies to lovers. This guy's a fisherman, I think, and the girl is like a spoiled, stuck-up kind of party girl type trope. So Piper, she's fashionable, influential, her reputation as a wild child kind of reminds me of like Bryce Quinlan, kind of at the beginning of Crescent City. So she ends up in jail, her stepfather cuts her off and sends her and her sister to learn some responsibility, running their late father's dive bar in Westport, Washington. She meets a big bearded sea captain, Brendan Taggart, who thinks she won't last a week outside of Beverly Hills. So basically, I think it's just like enemies to lovers, and this sounds amazing. These types of tropes, they just get me so good, and I think Fix Her Up was Tessa Bailey as well, or something, and I think there's going to be a sequel to this too. This is quite long, I feel. This is like 400 pages, so quite long for a romance. This is something I've been wanting to have for a while. I'm in love with like the trend of like illustrated covers. I really love the Chloe Brown, the Brown Sisters trilogy. I really like those covers, so oh my God, Kendra, you are amazing. I'm going to read your notes now. I knew you could do it. Congratulations, my lovely. And she also said, congrats, my lovely, again. Buddy read in the summer? Question mark? Oh my God, obviously it says summer in it, not me about to read it in like winter. I don't know if I can wait, Kendra, but I'll let you know when I fancy picking it up, and you're such a quick reader and I feel like you will pick it up anyway. I'll leave both of these notes in here. Thank you so much. Oh my God, genuinely so excited for this. I love how big the paperback is, but also I know it's not gonna fit my other paperbacks on the shelf, which is gonna frustrate me, but it's fine. It's all good. And I do have one more. So, ooh. This one's hard. Okay. Ooh, another big paperback. Wow, I'm being spoilt. It's from Lydia, and this is Autobiography, which is super floppy. Oh my God, look at that. This is what every paperback should be like in the UK. Now, this is something that is a more of a kind of modern contemporary, I think it's a gay love story, if I remember correctly. So 3 years ago, Tanner Scott's family relocated from California to Utah, a move that nudged the bisexual teen temporarily back into the closet. I was completely covering my face then. So he's got 1 semester of high school to go. He plans to coast through his remaining classes. So then his best friend Autumn dares him to take the seminar, which is like an honor roll, clever student type thing, to draft a book in a semester. He can't resist defying his better judgment and having a go, only as if to prove to Autumn how silly the whole thing is. So he has 4 months to write a book. Turns out he's only partly right. 4 months is a long time. After all, it takes only 1 second for him to notice Sebastian Brother, the Mormon prodigy who sold his own seminar novel the year before and who now mentors the class. And it takes less than a month for Tanner to fall completely in love with him. That sounds really cute. I've heard such good things about this. I feel like I'm so out of the loop with a lot of like modern contemporary romance type stuff. So like I'm super behind on everything that's super popular. But if I remember correctly, this is a very popular book from a while ago. I don't know when it was published. 2017, so not ages ago. But in terms of maybe publishing and BookTube and how fast that kind of goes, possibly a while in terms of publishing. And now I'm going to read Lydia's note. So Lydia says, congratulations on passing your exams. Time to rest and celebrate. Hashtag smashed it. Hashtag slay. I was surprised to see this book in your wish list, but it's a great queer YA with a bi boy protagonist, which I loved. Enjoy. Yeah, I'm surprised I added it, honestly, but I'm trying to branch out, because I feel like stuff like this will also be a good palette cleanser between like all the fantasy that I read. And to be honest, stuff like this, stuff like It Happened One Summer and, you know, everything else I've been trying to do. Oh my God, all 3 of these paperbacks are different sizes. Hang on. All 3 of them are different sizes. But it's fine. I like big paperbacks. I will figure it out on my shelf. But thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you, Christy. And thank you, Kendra. I'm so happy that I passed my exams. And thank you so much for celebrating with me and sending me a little something. I'm so grateful and happy. And these are actually, I'm quite excited to read them because it's something different for me. Well, maybe not King of Battle and Blood, but it looks like a quick fantasy romance, which I would do in between big fantasies. So I'm really happy. Oh my God. It's so much fun. I am now going to jump onto sprints and hopefully read some big fantasies that I need to get done for the vlog, for the book battle box, whatever the fuck. You know, a book box battle. I've had a long day. I want to read 3 books. I want to read 2 of them tonight, to be honest. I want to blast through as much as possible. I have 5 hours of sprints. If you think about that, 5 times 15 is about an hour. So maybe 4 hours total to read, if you include 15 minutes of speaking. So yeah, I have a lot to do. I have a lot to get through. And I feel like Year of the Reaper is going to be quite fast because it's only 300 and something pages, 320 or something. And I feel like it'll read fast as well. So I think I'm going to start with that. Try and smash that out tonight, maybe by 10 o'clock. I don't know why I set myself these things. I never beat them or never meet them. But I'm so happy and so excited. So yeah, I'm going to go and do that and I will see you later. Hello, my lovelies. It is Sunday morning, which means it is the final day of TBRPGathon. It has been a long week. I ran out of pre-filmed videos for the readathon at around Wednesday, and so then I had to kind of film every single day to get caught up because I've had a bit of a wobbly week, a bit of a wobbly month, a bit of a wobbly term in general, but I'm really glad that it's all done and I'm super happy with everything and the way it's turned out. And I thought I would update you because last night on sprints, I got up to around like just over halfway for Year of the Reaper. I still feel pretty much the same about this. I don't feel like it's anything really special. The fact that the main character can see ghosts is the only kind of interesting thing that's happened so far. And also like a little bit of the kind of mystery that's happening and the plague. I don't know if there's anything magical about the plague or magical about the main character to do with the plague, but I'm slightly intrigued with that, but not really enough to be like, oh my God, I really have to turn every page. It is also super short. It is only 321 pages. I have to wonder what on earth they're going to fit into this book in the next half. And I assume there will be a sequel because there is just like not really anything that says if it's a standalone? I don't think it is though, because surely not at 320 pages. Surely it can't be, not with this kind of story. The author's note does say that the author did start writing this in 2018, so like long before coronavirus was around. I don't see plague as anything like coronavirus though. For one, coronavirus is a virus, and the plague to me is quite a far off thing, you know, like the bubonic plague and stuff with the sores and the boils and things. Like, I find that very different to, in context and in like science, to coronavirus. So I don't really see this as like a commentary on coronavirus. Maybe some people have said that, or like we're worried about publishing it maybe. I don't know. I do still really like the cover. The mace that's on the cover has only just come into it maybe like 50 pages ago. Year of the Reaper, maybe he is a Reaper. I don't know, to be honest. I'm still a little bit confused on what really the premise of this is. If that's kind of it. I have seen some good things, like some of my patrons and some people in the comments of Sprints have been saying like they thought it was pretty good, like 4-star material. Right now it's sitting at a 3. It's just like super meh. Like, I don't really particularly care about the characters. I care about some of them a little bit. Some of the interactions and the dialogue have been quite funny. There are elements of humour in there that I quite like, but it's not really focused on or brought out in the writing a lot. It's quite subtle and kind of dashed in between. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna carry on now. It's nearly 9:30 now. So sprints will start again at 10. I'm gonna go send the link out to Becca and Spoops, and then I will just carry on until 10, I think, just to try and squeeze some more pages in, because I really do want to carry on with A Marvelous Light and hopefully get this finished today. But also I do wanna film today. I want to batch film for this week. And I have at least 2 videos that I know I want to film, which is my Kindle Unlimited smut review and my worst books of 2021. I can film those later, kind of lunchtime, just after lunch maybe, and spend the morning reading. And I think that'll be quite fun. So I will see you guys later when I have a bit more of an update on something I've read. Hello, I have just finished Year of the Reaper on Sprints, and it is about 1 o'clock. This has ended up, I just put it through Core Pilots, ended up a 2-star. If you take into account half stars, it is a 2.5 stars. It's just straight down the middle. It was just really mediocre. I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it. I think the setting is really, really overdone. I don't think it did anything new for a medieval fantasy setting. It's a standalone, and there were still some things that felt like there could have been stuff open-ended at the end. I didn't particularly care for the romance in it. This is only 321 pages, which is very short for a standalone. I don't think it was worth writing or worth publishing, worth reading. I'm genuinely baffled as to why Fairyloot chose this for their monthly box. I guess it can be hard when it comes to getting a monthly book. You need to pick something that is coming out in that month, or like around the end of November or end of January. Like, this was the December book. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate anything. I didn't feel like anything was particularly wrong. I just didn't think it did anything new. He could see ghosts. That did not affect the plot in any way. It didn't matter. The plague and where it came from was just that. It was just like, oh, well, it's a plague. There were things alluded to about scientists saying like where it came from and things, and being spread by rats and stuff. But so I think it was literally just set during the bubonic plague era. Like, I just feel like nothing unique was done with this setting or with the idea. I don't really know the point of this book. There was nothing really inspirational about it, nothing unique, nothing new. I didn't feel like anything was added to the genre. And I know like not everything has to be added, but also even if, say, I liked this genre, which I do, but if this was like my favorite genre and I enjoy reading anything in that type of thing, as in medieval fantasy, nothing really happened. It was a mediocre plot and story of a big reveal of a Scooby-Doo villain kind of thing. And it was just like, oh, it was so-and-so all along. It was just very that. It was very D&D cheesy plot. That's always nice when you're playing it in D&D, but it doesn't really work well for like a novel. So yeah, in the end, just 2 stars. And I've had a really bad reading year so far. I've had 2 2-star books and 1 5-star. But I guess that evens out at like 3.5. So. Oh, yeah. And the fact that just the December box in general, like this doesn't have very good embellishments. The cover is just black instead of this wine red. I'll get George to put up the original cover here. The original cover was just the same, but was a wine red, which I think is actually nicer. Although the black looks good with the edges, I do prefer to have something a bit different and have like some red. Maybe we could have had red edges then. And also the kind of picture underneath the cover, this is the main character, is the same art as underneath, but just like reversed. So I thought that was quite lazy as well. And all in all, like for a box to finish off 2021, I feel like this was a really poor showing from Fairyloot. Yeah, I just really did not have a good time. I'm just starting to think that I don't want to subscribe to Fairyloot anymore. We will be getting into the items at the end of this video because I want to compare Fairyloot and Illumicrate at the end in terms of items. I am going to move on to the Illumicrate December book next, A Marvelous Light. I am 50 pages in. Haven't had much yet, but I've enjoyed what I've had so far. But the banter, the writing is really good. I'm trying to look for my bookmark now, and I cannot see where I've put it, but I will find it now. I'm gonna get on with this in sprints now, and I guess I will update you maybe when I'm a bit more into this one. This is actually the Waterstones edition that I'm reading. The December Illumicrate is upstairs. I didn't want to hold like the plastic thing. I will show you later. But yeah, hopefully this will be a bit better, and I will speak to you later. Hello everyone. Please forgive the wet hair. I have had, and I think I've said this in a prior clip, but I think I've had probably a little bit of a wobbly week, we can say, safely. I did get a bit further into A Marvelous Light. I am about halfway now, or just over halfway, so I'm on page 190 if I remember correctly. Yes, page 190. It's slowing down a little bit in the middle. I'm still quite interested in what's going on, but I feel like there's not been much action so far. I am still invested in kind of the romance that's happening. It's very tentative still at the moment. I still like the banter that's happening between the two kind of love interests and the kind of slow move to like companionship and like friendship and the kind of tentative, oh, you gay, me gay, we both gay. That's kind of what's happening right now. And I'm enjoying that, but the mystery itself, sort of like the plot, isn't gripping me as much as I thought it would, but the characters are kind of propping that up right now. I haven't really been in the mood to pick this up again. I feel like it's going to be one of those ones where as soon as I pick it up again, I will enjoy, or I'll get to like the really good bit next or something. I feel like I've put it down in a really awkward place maybe. So I do want to continue this, but since I last spoke to you, which was a couple of days ago, this is turning into like a 2-week vlog. Basically, I started and finished It Happened One Summer, which I did show you. I unboxed literally probably in the last clip or the one before that, and this was from Kendra. And do you know what? I just was not in the mood for anything, and I'd heard such good things about this. There was like one quote that I had heard from this that really made me interested, and this is actually my first ever 5-star for a romance. Who is she? Who knows what is happening to me? But this is very good. So this is kind of spoiled rich girl, gets kind of kicked out of LA, has to go to this small town in Washington where Brendan is, and he is like a big bearded fisherman guy, and he fishes for crabs, which is my brand now apparently. And I did not know you fished for crabs. I just knew he was a fisherman, and I was triggered when I opened the book. But anyway, this was actually really good. I thought that Piper was hilarious. Apparently it's based on Schitt's Creek, because I know the premise of Schitt's Creek is like a rich family kind of goes into poverty or has to like live without money or something. I have never actually watched it. I know it's a comedy and it's quite popular, but I've never seen it. But apparently the main character is kind of based on the daughter in that, like the main girl in that. Not main girl, it's all about a family, but the daughter. I just really liked this trope. I really liked the airhead kind of bimbo trope, but that she actually has something about her, like people always underestimate her kind of thing, and Brendan definitely underestimates her at first, and it's sort of like a really snipey relationship at first, and like they kind of, I wouldn't say it's enemies to lovers, because enemy is a bit of a strong word for contemporary romance, but maybe dislike to lovers, I don't know. But that I thought was good. It does very quickly come out of that, which at first I wasn't too sure about. That gets resolved very quickly, but I actually really like the kind of ups and downs that this romance took me on. I say this every time, but like there's always like a conflict just before the happily ever after. This one, although I wasn't 100% believing it, because I don't want to be like, oh my god, my relationship's perfect, but like, it's like, it couldn't be me. Like, I just communicate with my partner, but then that wouldn't be, I guess, interesting or angsty for books. So like, I need to like suspending my disbelief or like, not even that, just like believing like most relationships do have things like this, like miscommunication. So I kind of suspended my disbelief. I was able to, for like, I'd say like 80% of this kind of final conflict, but also I think that the guy acted out badly and then he admitted that he did. So it wasn't just like, oh, the woman's in the wrong, which I feel like has happened in the past. Like, oh my god, the woman's in the wrong for all of it or whatever. Like, I always feel the man should apologize in it. So, and he did. So I was happy with that. Also, this had, now, let's be honest, I have actually only ever read 2 contemporary romances, and that's Chloe Brown and Danny Brown. I have read a lot of fantasy romance, like Fortuna Sworn, things like that, you know, ACOTAR, Crescent City, let's say. So I'm not hugely aware of the amount of smut that's usually in contemporary romance, but the amount that was in this, I thought is what I've been looking for. There are at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 scenes, and like that felt more realistic to me. And it's not just because I want to read smut, I swear to God. I mean, I do, obviously, but like I want this amount of smut in kind of every book, every romance that I read from now on, to be honest, because I thought it was a really, really balanced amount, especially like when you first get with someone, surely you're having sex like all the time. Like, is that not a thing? Like, I'm pretty sure it's a thing. This made much more sense to me. I enjoyed the balance of sex scenes to angst to like getting to know each other. I thought it was very well done. In the end, like I did actually tear up at several bits, like near the end as well. Like Piper like thinks like everyone thinks she's an airhead and this and that, and there's that insecurity there. And like I very much like I didn't relate to it in any way because I've never been called an airhead in my life or anything like that. But like the way it was written, I just fully like sympathized with her so much. Like she didn't deserve that. Like she's just so nice. Do you know what I mean? Like she's harmless, yeah? Like it just was horrible to read about. But in the end, yeah, 5 full stars. And I kind of didn't really hesitate with it either. I thought in my head 5 stars and then I was like, oh really? 5 stars? And then I was like, well, I automatically thought it. And then I put it through Corepile and it was. So I replaced intrigue with smut level on Corepile because I was like, you can't really be intrigued by a romance, I don't think. In terms of like intrigue for me is like plot twists and stuff. So, or like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? It's like, you know what's going to happen next because it's a romance and you have the happily ever after. So I replaced that with smut and it got 10. So I thought it was really, really well written smut. Not only like the amount of smut, but the quality was very high. So that's that. I did also get in the mail today my Malice from The Broken Binding, and it's signed. I got number 245, which is quite good because it's out of 500, so I quite like the number. It's quite like a floppy paperback, hardback, so you can like hold it open, which I really like. I have not actually read this yet, and I purchased it on the 1st of August. No, the 31st of July, something like that, one of those 2 days. I still haven't got around to reading it, even though it's taken 4 to 6 months to arrive. How long? 6 months, actually, yeah. So there's that, which is a long time, and I still haven't got around to it, which is bad, but I really like how big the hardback is. It's bigger than my face, and I do also, again, love how it just, like, holds open, and I have heard really good things about this in general. And in general, I like Norse things, I like Viking things, and I like epic fantasy. So to me, this should be a hit. Hopefully it is. And hopefully I'll read it before I have to buy the next one. Because I bought them individually. I didn't buy the set because I didn't have enough money at the time. So I just bought this one, which was like, I think it was like 40 quid. So it's expensive for a special edition, to be honest. Compared to like Goldsboro, which they're like 25 quid. And you get signed, numbered, sprayed edges, sometimes stenciled edges. So yeah, not the cheapest of books, but it is a reprint as well of like an older series, so I don't know. Now tonight, I think the reason I've been feeling really anxious is because of like, I do have a resit exam coming up, and earlier today I was going to read at lunchtime and I did start Keeper of the Lost Cities because I was meant to be doing Keeper along with Pris and Sasha and quite a few other people. I DNF'd this at 2% because I do not want to read about a 12-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy. And that is simply all. That is literally it. I could not physically sit here and read a girl being all moon eyes over a 15-year-old boy and like him entertaining it in any way whatsoever. I'm not here for that. I then went and looked at reviews and everyone says like, oh my god, it's like Sophie's so special all the time. And apparently there's like every one of the people or the elves or whatever that she goes to be with, they're all white, and then they have like brown-skinned gnomes as servants. So I was just like, okay, I think that's enough internet for today, and I think that's enough Keeper of the Lost Cities for me. So I will not be continuing with the series. I will not be taking part in Keeper Along. Yeah, I will not be doing the live show either. I'm just backing out. I've already messaged Chris to let her know and she's fine. So it's just like, it's just not for me. I don't think I could suspend disbelief or suspend my morals or like the ickiness I felt. I just could not. Or more power to anyone who enjoys it and like can see past the like 12-15 thing. It's just something that's like a hard block for me. Like no, like absolutely not. And thinking of like young girls reading this also makes me angry. But you know, it's fine. I'm not judging anyone else who enjoys it because they can probably see past it and they probably don't end up together or whatever, but I don't really care. I don't want to read about her crushing on him and all this. I don't care. So instead of that, I think tonight I actually loved Tessa Bailey so much that I am going to start, and I am typing it in, I'm going to start Fix Her Up, which was a really big romance when it came out. I feel like it was 2020 maybe, possibly 2019. No, 2020 I think. So this is the cover if you recognize it. It was quite popular when it came out, and this was kind of what shot her into like the romance universe, I guess. Like she's always done romance, like she's got kind of Kindle Unlimited type romance, but this was the first one that went like trad pub and like really took off. So there is also a sequel to this one, and I think a third one is either out or coming out, and then there is also going to be a sequel to this year, which I will be purchasing immediately as soon as it comes out because it's about her sister. So yeah, I think I'm going to start Fix Her Up tonight. I don't think I'm going to study. I think I might leave my study until Friday night and Saturday, Sunday all day, because I'm just not in the fucking mood, and I know that I'm going to pass it next time because I've taken off a couple of days off work as well next week to like study before it. So I feel fine. Like personally, I feel fine doing that. So yeah, I'm going to go start Fix Her Up. Again, I'm not reading what I'm meant to be reading. I don't know how long this vlog is going to be or how long it's going to go over, like how many weeks, but you're going to stick with me through it, please, hopefully. And I'll speak to you again when I have another update. Hello. So when we last spoke, I had just finished, or started and finished, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This vlog, I'm not sure what time we are currently at, but strap in because we're not nowhere near finished. That's a lie. We are 2/3 of the way there in terms of what this vlog is meant to be. So at first it was meant to be TBRPGathon, and then I was like, oh, I can do my book box battle for December as well as this in a 2-for-1 thing. I didn't end up actually reading what I was meant to read for TBRPGathon. However, I have now finished A Marvelous Light. Again, this is the Waterstones edition. At the end of this video, I will be showing you the proper Illumicrate edition. Now this I have finished today on my Patreon sprint. So I finally finished A Marvelous Light. This has ended up as a 4.5 star. This was so close to being a 5. There was just this one dip in the middle where like it felt like the story was going nowhere and like not much was happening. However, the majority of this book was incredible. Really floral, prosy writing, which I love. 2 main characters that I was super interested in, really angsty. They clearly are attracted to each other, but at this time it's set in Edwardian times. Obviously being gay was a crime, or at least frowned upon, you know, that kind of stuff. The slow realization of them both realizing they're both attracted to men, and one of them, Edwin in particular, is very closed off. He's been hurt in the past. The family dynamics that are in this from both of their families, incredible. Loved reading about it. I would say this is a very, very character-focused book. There are no less than 3 sex scenes in this book, and I ate up every single one of them. I feel like this is like the perfect storm of how much sex I would like to have in like a main story. Because obviously, you know, sometimes you want just smut and you go and read a Kindle Unlimited book, right? But for me, a sex scene in an adult book or an adult fantasy book really ties something together for me. I think I just am a big fan of sex scenes in general. So that is a personal preference, of course, but this really, really did it for me in terms of that. I really felt like the desperation between these two men, and oh, it was just incredible. The plot itself, I would not say is maybe the most intuitive or the most, you know, unique. It's kind of more of a mystery. The world, I think, is very well built. I really like the idea that magic is something that the government is involved in. Similar, I would say, to Harry Potter in that, you know, the Ministry of Magic is there alongside the Prime Minister type thing. It's that type of world. And in that as well, the idea of having to do like a cat's cradle, I can't do it with holding this up, like a cat's cradle with your hands to create a spell is very, very cool. I really liked the world building of that and the idea behind inventing spells, or like how there's just normal domestic cleaning spells, things like that. I love domestic things when it comes to magic and fantasy. So that really hit the nail on the head for me as well. Really, really enjoyed just pretty much everything about this, other than this small dip in the middle and like the plot that was like maybe a little bit predictable, if not just like a little bit cheesy, or, you know, it's just not the most unique thing in the world, but the setting and the characters really, really made this for me. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone. I'm really, really hoping the sequel is going to be a 5 for me. It's definitely a 5-star prediction, because the sequel actually follows 2 women and it is going to be sapphic, and it's set on like a ship with a murder on the ship and stuff like that. So very excited for the sequel. I do have to wait till November though, or possibly December, depending on things if I push back. Just quickly as well, I did start, and I am currently 75% of the way through Fix Her Up on my Kindle, just showing you it there. This is okay. This is also by Tessa Bailey. It Happened One Summer was my first book by her, and I think it's her most recent as well, other than maybe book 3 in this series. This one isn't my favourite. I wouldn't say the guy is really my type. The girl, I actually didn't really, I found her a little bit annoying. I found it a bit strange that she's like had a massive crush on this guy her whole life. So I didn't really like the kind of power dynamic there, or the dynamic that's introduced to, she's already at a disadvantage there. So I wouldn't say I'm uncomfortable, but it's just not my favourite. The sex scenes though are very good. I would say Tessa Bailey is very good at writing like hot, so to speak, sex scenes. Nearing the end now, I am kind of rooting for them. I think it's just the beginning. I was annoyed by the main character. She did seem pestery, and she acknowledges that, so it's a bit strange. We'll probably finish this tonight later on. So this vlog is turning into lots of things. So it's turning into the book box battle. The last book that I have to read for that is Absinthe, which is the Goldsborough GSFF book. And this is actually more sci-fi. So I know I told you about it earlier on, but yeah, Chicago 1928, and it's more of a dystopian. So really looking forward to this actually, because it'll be a good change of pace. Hopefully we'll start this tomorrow and finish it maybe before the end of January. I only have 2 days left. And I don't know when you're gonna see this vlog, because I have so many videos that need to come out next week. So lots is happening, but I'm gonna pick this up and hopefully I'm gonna try and blast through it. Hopefully it won't take that long. I don't know, it depends how quick it is to read, obviously. So yeah, that is my update for you. I'm having a good time. I am reading a lot. I should have studied today, so I think I might study after dinner and just watch some videos. Planning on studying in the daytime on sprints, but I just really was not feeling it. I just didn't want to. So yeah, I know this vlog has just been all updates from me, nothing else, like no b-roll. Apologies for that, but I don't know, I'm enjoying updating you. So hopefully sometimes now and again, this type of vlog isn't too bad. So I will check back in with you, hopefully when I've started Absinthe. Hello, I'm gonna be honest with you. This vlog, it's not my finest work. It's not my best video ever. In fact, it's probably the most cobbled together piece of shit that you have seen in a while. However, I am going to be bringing it to a close now. This was sort of a, I want to say like an experiment to see with Book Box Battle my idea, like how it'd work, how I would kind of read everything if I could read everything, and I've realised I cannot. And in particular, I cannot read the Goldsboro book on top of the Fairyloot and Illumicrate books. Now, the reason for this, I think, is because the Goldsboro books do tend to be fairly dense epic fantasy, or like just a bit denser in general, even if it's not epic fantasy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move forward next month, the month after, etc., just doing Illumicrate and Fairyloot, and that way I can just compare the two boxes and it'll be more comparable because they both have items and etc, etc. They're a bit more closer in genre, although Illumicrate does tend towards a lot older YA or adult, and then Fairyloot, I think, tends towards a lot younger YA. So, I have not read Absinthe. I am still planning to. I did get about 20 pages in, but I'm just not in the mood for it. I feel like Goldsboro books might be something that I need to do like a separate vlog on, or a separate just reading time for it, because doing it on top of Illumicrate and Fairyloot felt out of place to me. It didn't feel like I was in the right mood for that, because I was reading things like Illumicrate and Fairyloot pick, and Goldsboro felt very out of, I don't know, genre, out of pocket, just not, like it was just misplaced, you know? And especially with, I want to start the Fairyloot adult book box subscription as well, I'm thinking that's going to be enough. And I may not even add that into this one, or I may end up going with the adult and cancelling my YA one. We don't know. We want to see what happens. I want to see what happens with the adult box first, see what they start picking, if there's any overlap with Illumicrate, because I will be very unhappy and probably just pick Illumicrate anyway. With that in mind, we now need to wrap this up by comparing the items. And I am going to as well compare the books. You have had my thoughts throughout this. I know I've mixed this one in with TBRPGathon, and I've read a bit of Crescent City. I've read 2 other romances in between. In future, this video or this vlog is going to be dedicated to these 2 books and comparing the items, and that way I think it'll be a bit shorter, a bit more concise, and in general just an easier watch for you guys rather than me stumbling through trying to force myself to read books, because nobody wants to watch someone force themselves to read a book. But if it's just two books, I feel like it's more manageable. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into the actual like for like comparisons. So in case it's not obvious, I did say at the beginning, this is for the December 2021 boxes. This is coming out a little bit late in February instead of January because of basically I hated Year of the Reaper and I started it on the 1st of January and I finished it on like the 29th or something stupid like that. I don't know what day it was, but this was the Fairyloot choice. Obviously you have seen my thoughts throughout. Now let's kind of have a look at what the embellishments are on this and compare them to Illumicrate's, which was A Marvelous Light. Now straight off the bat, you can see there's a huge difference here in the fact that Illumicrate has stenciled edges versus Fairyloot's block sprayed edge. In 2021 in general, Illumicrate did 9 out of 12 of their books had stenciled edges, and Fairyloot only had 7 out of 12, so just over half. So just in case you were curious about that, Illumicrate in 2021 have tended to do more stenciled edges than not. And in my experience so far with the January Illumicrate, that one has already had a stenciled edge. I have not had my January Fairyloot yet, so I can't comment on that. However, let's go wind back. We're talking about December. So in terms of embellishments themselves, I think they are both hand signed. No. Year of the Reaper has a book plate. Illumicrate's is hand signed. So already that's kind of 2-0 on the side of Illumicrate, for me anyway. In terms of other embellishments, so anything else, so like say something underneath the dust jacket on the foil board. Now this is kind of difficult to compare because Illumicrate this time around have gone with a see-through jacket. So you can see there that underneath the dust jacket is actually a lot of the art that was on the initial dust cover, and I can compare for you because I have the Waterstones edition, so you can see that that's the just original art from the cover, but it's printed directly onto the hardback, which I think is very pretty and very nice. So in terms of having a pretty design on the hardback, they both do have that. So we do have, and this is a normal thing for Fairyloot, they always usually have a foil person or artwork on the cover now, like underneath the cover. This, however, is nowhere near as nice as this. So again, that's kind of 3-0 to Illumicrate, unfortunately. In terms of the actual design of the kind of see-through jacket, a lot of people didn't like the feel of it, a lot of people didn't like the look of it being shiny, but for me, I don't really care because it's going this way out on my shelf regardless. So you won't be able to see the shininess of like the edge compared to my other books, for example. But in terms of kind of another customization, Fairyloot do always do the art under the dust jacket, which although it's pretty and it's one of their staples and I do appreciate it when I open it, I probably look at that maybe twice in my whole life. Once when I first unbox the book, when I take the jacket off it to read it, and then, you know, in a video like this, for example, to show it off. So it's hard to, you can't display that, do you know what I mean? Which is the only annoying thing, because it feels like a waste of the really good art underneath. But it's something that some people really like. It's just not really personally something that I really get on with and really enjoy, because I like it at the time, but you don't really get to see it on your shelf. But then I guess you could say the same thing about signed things. So at the moment we have 3 points to Illumicrate in terms of the book's embellishments and 1 point to Fairyloot for this. In terms of the actual books, now I gave this one 4.75 stars and this one 2.5 stars. And I have talked about this in the rest of the vlog, so I'm not going to go on about it too much, but this was really, really fucking good and this was just really, really mediocre. I'm honestly not sure about the choice for this. And in fact, I realised I've only read 3 of the Fairyloot books in 2021 and I gave all of them 2.5 stars. So I am genuinely really kind of thinking hard about keeping my Fairyloot subscription. Again, I'm going to see how it goes with the adult one. And I'm not going to talk too much more about the content of these because you've seen me talk about them throughout this vlog. So this one wins in terms of the better book. So I guess right now it's kind of 4-1 on the book side. Now, if we move on to the items, I've kind of categorized these in terms of quality, displayability, and usefulness. So let's start out with Illumicrate. So Illumicrate, one of their items was a pin flag, quite a big pin flag actually. For is it useful? I've put yes, because obviously it's useful. Is it pretty? Yes. Is it displayable? Yes. And in terms of the quality, it's actually quite thick. It's a bit more PVC-esque, but in terms of quality, it feels quite good quality. I've kind of got a rating cheap, good, and excellent. I'm kind of going like a rating out of 3. And I would say this is good. I wouldn't say it's excellent. This string can get frayed quite easily, I feel. I don't know. I just think it's good. So it's kind of middle of the road for that. It's pretty good. In terms of the mug, we got one of the Rosy Thorns mugs, which is a staple in kind of every quarter. So obviously, displayability, yes. Is it pretty? Yes. Is it useful? Like, technically, yes. But if you have a lot of them, they're not super useful if you have so many, and that's my case. However, if this was your first box or you are new to Illumicrate, this is definitely useful if you want to use it as a mug. So for me, no, I'm not going to use it, but I am going to display it. So again, it kind of depends on your own take and your own collection of mugs at this point. And in terms of quality, honestly, the mugs quality are always excellent for me. I know some people do get like misprints and blurriness, but I have never ever experienced that from Illumicrate. I've never had to send anything back from Illumicrate. I've never had to request anything new, other than literally 1 pin got missed out in the December box. And that was it. And they're stopping the pins now, which is sad. But the mug is always a +1. They did also do a calendar in the December box, which is a good box to do a calendar in. Is it pretty? Yes. The artwork, all by different artists, is gorgeous. Is it useful? I'd say yeah. Personally, it's too small for me to write anything that I need to do because I'm a busy bitch. But if you wanted to just write birthdays on it or literally just like really, really important stuff, yes. I'd say it's kind of halfway there to useful. And in terms of quality, this is excellent. I think that it's really good, nice thick paper, especially in the end and beginning, so that it'll hold up on like any weight. Like the weight will hold even on the first one, even though when the weight's kind of dangling down there. It feels very sturdy. I have not actually put it up yet anywhere because I can't nail anything because I'm renting. So I'm kind of trying to find a way around that. But the quality of this is excellent for paper, you know. The next thing was a pencil case, and I am actually using it. So already that's answered, is it useful? The answer is yes. Is it pretty? Fuck yes, it's pretty. Have you seen this? This is excellent. Is it displayable? Technically, yes. And also I'd say the quality of this is also excellent. It's very well done tin. It's you know, it's printed perfectly. Again, I think December box, like Illumicrate, definitely smashed this out of the park. Compared to the January box, which, go watch my unboxing if you haven't seen it. But this December box is like the reason why I stay with Illumicrate, and that I've subscribed to them for so many years. All of these items are just excellent. In terms of the very last one, we did have a Nevermore sticker sheet. So is this displayable? Technically yes, because you could display it by sticking them on things. Is it useful? Not particularly useful. You can put it in a planner and things. So I guess in that sense, yeah, it's kind of difficult to do that category. Is it pretty? Yeah, the art is really nice. I'd say it's really pretty. And the quality of this I've written is also excellent. I can definitely feel the paper is good quality. I have not stuck them anywhere yet because I am very indecisive and I feel like I will have a breakdown if I stick it somewhere and then change my mind. But the quality of the paper thing itself feels quite thick and quite glossy and nice. So that is an excellent for me. In terms of fandoms, and this isn't really like their fault if they pick one I don't like, it's more of a personal preference, but Nevermore obviously gets a 5 out of 5. This one, the pencil case, is Ninth House, which I have not read, but the reason that I like it is because it's useful and nice despite me not having the fandom or liking the fandom or knowing the fandom. This is what I want. I want something to be useful and pretty and displayable despite the fandom that it's from. So this is the same kind of reasoning behind the pin flag. This is from Girl Serpent Thorn. It's not a book I'm probably going to read. It came in Fairyloot like 2 years ago, but this is useful and displayable regardless of the fandom, and that I think is what makes a good item in a book box. In terms of the mug, obviously I love the fandom, 5 out of 5. This is useful regardless and pretty regardless. So again, that's excellent. The fandoms in the calendar, obviously there's quite a mixed bag, but again, the thing itself is useful and the art itself is pretty regardless. It's when you get something that is not useful and it's just, you don't like it and you don't like the fandom, that's when it's bad. And that's when we're going to move on to Fairyloot. These Fairyloot items, I'm not going to lie to you, they suck. The very first item we got was an extra book, so I'm not actually a big fan of when we get extra books instead of an item, unless the book has like edges or something. This is just a paperback. This is just a paperback book. I don't know why we have it, unless it's something like we're getting an exclusive months early paperback copy, or it's not coming out in the UK, or it's like not out in paperback in the UK, it's an exclusive paperback. I don't care. What is exclusive about this? It's literally just a paperback. And it's a contemporary kind of urban romance. It's more contemporary romance with the vampires and stuff, which I am going to give it a go, but it's just not really what they usually put in, I feel. So it kind of felt out of left field for me. So this was not very good for me. The worst one was this Iron-On patch, which is from We Hunt the Flame. I hated that book. And this is not displayable. It's not useful. This is nothing. This is just a bit of fabric that does not even stick to its thing anymore. This is just a bit of fabric. It's not pretty. You can't really tell what it is other than flames. It's supposed to be the main character's tattoo. I could not care less. This is not useful. This is not nice. This has got a 0 out of 5. The quality of this feels cheap. It just doesn't feel good. It's rubbish. It's just tat, like it's taking up space. And next in Fairyloot we had this. This is a letter opener, supposedly. Nobody opens letters anymore. Everything goes paperless. I think I get 1 letter a month, maybe. I don't receive letters. Most people don't anymore. Not, at least I think, the age of the people buying these boxes. Obviously, there are going to be people in the comments telling me I'm wrong and they receive lots of letters, but I don't care. This is not useful. It's not really displayable. I mean, like, you could argue, you could put it, like, kind of up, you know? Like, leaning against a book, but it would probably just fall at the slightest, you know, drop of a hat, drop of a feather. So although this is, I was gonna say it's pretty, but it has shitty gems on it. The gems on it are awful. They look like the type of gems you would have on for like a rave or like you played with when you were younger. They just look like plastic to me, which they are, and it's bad. This is not good. This is just shit. And it's so small that it wouldn't make a difference if you try to display it on your shelf anyway. Fandom also, Once Upon a Broken Heart, have not read it. So I will not use this regardless because it's not useful or displayable. So in terms of items, we got cheap, kind of not applicable for the book because it's just a paperback. And then we have some bookmarks, which I need to take this one out of my book actually. So I have been using these. This is the only item I liked from the December box, other than the book sleeve, which I will get onto now. These are the new kind of collectibles they're doing. They are Greek god bookmarks and they did Hades and Persephone first. Nicely foiled. I do wish they'd had the same on the back instead of this shitty Fairyloot stuff on the back. Why couldn't they have repeated the design or done a double-sided bookmark with Hades on one side, Persephone on the other, and then like Zeus and Hera or something, you know? I feel like it wasn't thought through very well. The art is very good. So this is pretty and it is useful. Not displayable, but bookmarks aren't really, and I'm not too bothered about that fact. Bookmarks are bookmarks, you know, they are what they say on the tin. There's some mark where you are on your book. So this is the only really good item and they feel excellent quality. It's very cardboardy. However, I would say change that to good quality because it like bent very easily for me. And I didn't do that on purpose, but then it's cardboard, like I don't feel like that could have been prevented. So I will leave that as an excellent quality, to be honest, because that's not really their fault. Now, finally, we do have these Violent Delights book sleeve, which I'm going to get Jordan to put a clip above here from when the unboxing because I cannot for the life of me find this book sleeve. My library is a fucking mess. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if I'm using it somewhere. I don't know if it's buried somewhere. I have dug through things. I don't know if I've put it on my shelf somehow in between the books. I don't know. I don't know where it is. But this had very nice artwork. It was very pretty. The fandom for me was not a bother because I've not read it, but it is on my TBR and it's pretty and useful, which means, you know, I will use it regardless. So that's good. And the quality of it, if I remember correctly, it's good. I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's like PVC, which is like a lot of the newer ones these days. I have this one here from Illumicrate. It's like a PVC kind of material and like a plasticky lining, which I'm not actually as keen on as the cloth ones, but I do understand this kind of would not have stains on it. Like you could get stains out very easily. You wouldn't have to wash it like in a washing machine kind of thing. So I do understand that kind of move towards these kind of materials for book sleeves. So December 2021, Illumicrate completely smashed Fairyloot. Illumicrate was excellent. In fact, I did not see a single thing wrong with the box, whereas Fairyloot had very few redeeming qualities this month. It was not great. The choice was not good. The block spread edge was not good. Signed book plate instead of signed. The items were just awful. They were not useful in any way. Because that's the thing. Again, if I don't like the fandom, for example, We Hunt the Flame, which I don't like the book. However, if it's useful enough, like the item, I will use it regardless because it's useful and nice and probably pretty because they do have good artwork. But this month for Fairyloot, oh, just awful. Just so bad. It was terrible. So, Illumicrate have won December 2021 and we will be keeping a tally for 2022 to see which ones I like more and seeing how much kind of out of 5 I'd probably give the Illumicrate box a 5 out of 5 this month, and I would give the Fairyloot box a 2 out of 5 this month. The 2 being the redeeming qualities of the bookmarks, which are nice, and the book sleeve, which is pretty good. And that is it. And the fact we got an extra book, I guess that's great, but also there's nothing new about it. So, if you did like this video, please do give it a like below. Leave me a little boxing glove emoji in the comments if you were here but you didn't really have anything to say but wanted to let me know that you were here. Make sure you subscribe to get all of the future content from me in your inbox. All of my links are in the description, including my Patreon. If you don't know what goes on my Patreon, then this is what you're missing out on.
Oh Nana, what's your bad romance? I don't know if this is ironic. Alice, this is cute. I know, but rah rah is the start of bad romance, yeah. But oh Nana is the beginning of oh Nana, what's my name? Like that's Rihanna. It's a different song. Am I were you being genuine? I can't tell if you were joking or not, or if you got it wrong. Alice, genuinely, you crack me up so much.
Speaking of my Patreon, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone at my deity tier. So that is Becca, Meg, Rachel, Lisa, Lydia, Mercy, Sarah, Tori, Adinda, Liv, Celeste, Britt, Marloose, Kay, Danny, Hannah, William, Chris, Andy, Lauren, Kate, Kendra, Ashley, KW, Frog, Lynn, Amy, Rye, Jenny, Hattie, and Katie. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!